All right, I welcome you all to this coding session and that we are going to do for TCS. So basically, as you know, we are conducting some of the sessions for the TCS in order to help you in prepare in terms of that upcoming season that TCS is going to conduct, right? So, if you are new to this session today, so we have already conducted last three sessions for remaining chapters that you need in terms of cracking the interview. So this is going to be a last series of this live, and probably we are going to come live more often by the time TCS announces their placements. So now coming back to let's introduce. I'll start with my introduction. So my name is Rishikesh. I work as a data scientist at Prep and Stuff. So in this seminar, in this session, I'm going to explain you about how to prepare yourself in terms of the coding interviews, and also we are going to solve one of the coding interview question that was asked in the last year. And all right, so let's start with that. So I hope there are a lot of students are still joining. So before then, let's wait for some time for them to join. So meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll explain you some kind of like what we have. So whoever who has joined right now, so let's wait for some others to join. And during this live, what we are going to do is we are going to pick some top three commenters. So depending on wherever it is required, so either you can reply us in terms of any answers in terms of like question that we are going to solve, or you can just quickly go and type in that comment section or the live chat just I'm audible, and you can just let me know that my voice is clear, and just let me know if the screen is visible. So just quickly let me know. And also we like I said, also I'm going to tell you that if you engage more in the comment section, we are going to pick the three top commenters, and we are going to give you a Prepinsta Prime subscription for free of, right? So now, since the placement season is coming up, and a lot of people are looking for in terms of preparation, so we are going to give away a coupon code called TCS, which you can apply on our website at Prepinsta Prime, so that you will get some extra discount about 10%. And basically, we give a 10% discount, but since you're coming from the YouTube live, so we are going to give more 5% discount. So on that, if you need any kind of a help regarding this subscription, or if you want to know how to prepare for TCS, and if you're looking up, or in terms of, let's say, if you're planning for the preparation, you don't know where to start, everything that can be helped from our end is going to get, like, just give us a call on this number. So we will try to make sure that will help you out throughout from your preparation phase to exactly what you have to do in terms of the interview. All right. So I hope that we have enough students and enough audience on the call right now. So let's switch back to the question that we are going to solve today. So basically, this is a question that I picked from one of the TCS question that we have seen. So in order that we are going to, first I'm going to explain you the entire question, and let's break down this entire question into smaller parts. So I'm going to help you with that as well, because once you clear all the rounds that we have previously seen, like you go through with aptitude, verbal reasoning, and then you have to solve that. So once you go through that, it's important that you have to come up with the coding questions as well. So where you have multiple options where you can solve the question either in C++, Java, or you can solve with Python as well. So multiple programming languages option that you have. It's up to you in which programming language you are comfortable with. So based on that, you can select that kind of a compiler and you can execute the code. So with respect to this question that we're going to solve in this session, I'm going to help you with respect to solution in two different languages, considering which are most preferred by the students, and then we are going to do the solution on that. But after that, even if I'm not covering Java, or even if I'm not covering any other specific language, but if you feel you are comfortable in that language, you can go with that. But I'll try my best to cover most of the programming languages that are most preferably asked or solved by the students by in the placement series or within the test. So now let's start with the question. So here we have a coding question in terms of this is like a city bus, and having the city bus is a ring route bus which runs in a circular fashion. So like I said, first I'm going to break down this entire question. Let's read it out. Let's understand what exactly you need to code. So the better you understand the question, the better you break it down into a smaller parts. It gets easier in terms of writing that code. So now that is bus one starts from source station. So we have a source station, and after that, starting from the source station, it halts at each bus stop and in its route, and at the end it reaches to the source bus stop again. So since this bus station that we have, the route is circular, so whenever it starts from the source station, it will go to each station, it will stop there, and since it is in a circular manner, so it will, at the end, it will reach to its source again. So if there are n number of stops, so since we have n number of stops, and if the bus starts at the stop 1, then after nth bus stop, the next stop in the route will be the bus stop number 1 always. So basically, let's say we have a circular, it might happen that it can start from anywhere. So since the starting point, we have to define in terms of like where the bus starts again. So the first bus stop is going to be the number 1, and considering like from what source you're starting and what's the destination for the first stop that we have. So let's say if there are n stops and there will be n paths. So to reach that specific path or to reach that specific destination that we have, there are going to be n different paths. So one path connect to two stops. So either like the first one that after that stop that we have and the previous stop that we have, right? So distances in meters. So we have the distances in terms of the meters. So units are also important in terms of to understand how we are going to calculate the fare from the source to the destination. Then for all paths, so this ring route is given in array. So like this is, if you are coming from the Python background, then we can call it as a list, and or maybe we can call it as an array. So this is our basically we have the distances for each source for each one. So this is like 800 meters, 600 meters, 750 meters. So you get it, right? So this is what the input that we have got. Now, continuing the question, so we have, all right, so all right, so just give me a moment so that I can switch this. Okay, so I think we are good now. Okay, so since we have all these paths and we have distance for this, so now let's moving forward. So how exactly the fare for the source stop to the destination is defined that we have in this one. So fare is determined based on the distance covered and from source to the destination stop as distance between input source that we are going to take from the user and the destination stop can be measured by looking at the values in the path array. So again, we have as an input from the question, again, we have one more array. So where we have this path and fare can be calculated as the following criteria. So because basically we have one more criteria. So depending upon like what is the base cost that you have from the source to destination. So in that scenario, if the distance between the source and the destination is 1000 meters, then the fare is going to be 5 INR and like a minimum base when we have. So it is not, it's going to be more than that as well. So but in terms of like for 1000 meters, that is 1 kilometer, you're going to charge five rupees, and depends on when we calculate the distance between the actual distance between the source and destination, we have to exactly give that fare amount, that how exactly we do in terms of the bus if you travel regularly on that, right? So whenever we are calculating the fare for others, the calculator fare containing any fraction value should be sealed. So basically, let's say we have an example. Let's say the distance is 900 meters, and while since we know that for the 1000 meters we have five rupees as a fare, and let's say the distance is 900 meters, and in that you have calculated that 4.5 is the actual fare that you have. So in this kind of a situation, you have to seal this value. So basically, whatever the value, you have to round up to the next whole number that it is. So that is also called as a sale to value. So where your actual cost will become 5 here. So that's what we have to do. So these are the conditions that we have to take care of while solving this question. So now let's moving forward with that. So let's continue the question itself. So here now we have the circular path and value at each index, indices, distances till current stop from the previous one. And each index position can be mapped with the values at the same index in bus stop array. So in short, we have some of the bus stops, and for each bus stop we have some code, basically, like let's say if you visit any IRCTC website or any airline website or anything, so instead of writing a complete city, we have some 3-digit or 2-digit code, right? So this is what we have. So these are all the abbreviations, the list of abbreviations that we have. So for the Thane railway station, we can call it as TH. For Gondavi, we can just say GA. The ice factory is represented as IC, and you get it, right. So these are all the abbreviations that we have for the number of stations that this bus is going to visit. So instead of writing this entire string for that bus stop, we are just going to use this specific abbreviation in terms of giving the input for the source and the destination that a user is going to travel. All right. So now, once you travel this, we are this is what it's going to look. So basically here we have like 8 stops where n value is 8, which means we have the total bus stops are 8. And if we convert that into a list, it becomes like these are the abbreviations, like I said. So these are the 8 values we have given. In the code itself it has given, in the question itself it has given that these are the values that we have. So now what you have to do is, so far that we have explained is the concept that they try to explain us. So now what exactly we have to do is we have to calculate the fare between the source bus stop and the destination bus stop. So for that, you are expected to write a function. So I know there are going to be multiple ways through which you can solve, but since they were very specific about how you're going to solve it, that they expect you to write a function, and the function name is as get fare, where you are going to pass 2 parameters. So the one is the source destination, like sorry, one is going to be a string for the source, and another parameter is going to be string for destination. So for example, let's we pick from this list, it can be happen that this uh, GA can be your source, and this NI can be your destination. So depending on the array of the distances that we have to match the exact what is the distance between. So our bus is going to stop these many number of times and these many number of stops it's going to take. So you have to accumulate that everything. And since we have a price of, like, for the 1,000 kilometers we have 5 rupees, so we have to check what is the distance that we have, multiply that with the fare amount that is defined, and then if that fare value is in terms of the fraction, then you have to seal it and you have to convert that into a whole number, or otherwise if it's already a whole number, then we can return that. So this is how we can do, and there can be like multiple parameters as well. So you can select the source as this TH as well, and this GA, the next stop, as a destination. So it's up to you, and maybe the conditions are given to us in with respect to that as well. All right. So in the format containing first 2 characters of the name of the bus and calculate. So we have to calculate the fare, what it is required in order to travel this distance from 2 destinations, and then return the travel fare. All right. So now let's look at some of the examples that we have. So what will be some valid use cases? What are going to be some invalid use cases in terms of how we are going to do that? So for that, we have some input cases. So whenever we are going to enter the destination and the source, so basically this, if you enter this, like CA is for one of the station that we have, and this is like another station. So basically the first input is going to be source, and second input is going to be destination. All right. So now we have to calculate the distance between that. Since these values that we have provided are not matching with the list that we have. Basically, these are the case sensitive, like whenever we give. So all, if you remember, we have all the stations as a capital letters, right? So we have all the letters as a capital letters. So we have the stations like this. So in the previous one, and there are a couple of stations as well. So this is how we have the values. And whenever we put the value where the source and the destination is same, it should be invalid output, because bus does not travel that way, right? So that's why it's supposed to give a invalid output. And all right, so now moving back, so let's say whenever we have all right, in case if you're not able to wear this, I will zoom a little bit, right? So now whenever we have this input as there's one source we have and another one we have as a destination. So this is how the fare should be get calculated. So that's what we have. So basically we have a list of stations. The bus is going to be go into the circular, and in that scenario, from source to destination, we have to calculate the fare between the source and the destination. So we are going to write a code for this, and before writing that, so let's switch. All right. So before writing the code, so I want to tell you that the placement season is up, and there might be a lot of companies are going to hire. So in that scenario, we are sharing a lot of recent hirings on our different channels. So one of them is like mostly we share on Instagram. So again, in Instagram, you will find that we have different batch wise specific channels as well. So make sure, like if you're passing out from year 2024 or 2025, so make sure you follow that specific batch or that specific channel, because all the placement related updates that you're going to get on that specific channel. Also, we have different WhatsApp groups as well. And make sure that you check out our Discord server. In that, mostly like we solve everything regarding the tech related questions, and you can ask us any queries that you have in terms of the question, that you can drop that in a Discord server, so you'll get the answer for that. And also we are active on LinkedIn as well, so make sure you go and visit this website and like follow us on LinkedIn, because since it might possible that you might miss the other channels where we have posted a recent hiring, and so that you might miss an opportunity to apply for the job. And again, we have different channels on Telegram as well. So in terms of just showing you, I will just show you how you can reach there. So you will get all the links in the description as well, but still I will show you here. All right, so basically this is a website that we have, and if you visit prepinsta.com, under the prepare tab, you will find off campus, and here we have given all kind of a links for our all social media accounts. And if you go on, so why specifically I was telling you in terms of follow the batch specific channels is that since we have different channels for different kinds of batches. So one thing, like let's say if I visit this 2024 batch channel, so we have recently shared a post about, like if you anyone is looking for to apply for the Google. So we have shared a recent post that we have posted, and in terms of, let's say if you want to apply for that, we share a link as well. So make sure you visit a link in bio, and if you scroll down on this link in bio, so here under this section you will find, here we have given the link. So by visiting this link, you can apply for that job. So basically what you do is that check out all our channels, like I'm showing. It can be Instagram, it can be like LinkedIn, and these are like also Telegram, WhatsApp. So do not miss out any of the platform, because it happens that you might miss out some of the recent updates, and you may get a chance, lose a chance in terms of applying for that, right? So now once you go through that, so right, let's get back to a question. And let's say if you're preparing. All right, so like I said, just we have some offer on TCS. So make sure you use the offer code TCS in order to get 10 plus more 5% extra discount on that. And like you might know that why should I bother to get the Prime and something. So I will tell you what you are getting under this subscription. Basically that you have all kind of a things like you can expect. So these are the number of question courses that you will get. So I think there's some technical glitch. So I will show you some other I will just share you with this. So basically, like you can see from here. So this is how the interface is going to be there, and you will see the questions that we have. All right. So this is how you're going to have, like, we have 200 plus courses. You can learn all of this at, and since you are coming from the YouTube, you can apply the coupon code as YouTube, and these are the prices currently that you can see, since we are running off a sale called start of the season. And apart from that, so I will show you some of the snippets that how the coursework is going to look. So this is how you are going to learn in an interactive way by understanding the concepts in a animation format, or in terms of graphs and like visually appealing graphs, so that it makes it easier for the learner in perspective of understanding the concept. And these are some of the screenshots that we have from the website that currently are there. So this comprises all kind of courses like full stack, data science, data analytics, ML, AI also. And there are, as you can see, some of the cool websites that you're going to build in terms of the projects. Then I'll show you, there are a lot of courses. If you pick any of the course, you will see same kind of interaction of the window, where it's going to easier for you in terms of learning. And like these are the some of the courses that we have on data analytics, where you're going to build the dashboards. So basically you can represent these kind of a dashboards you can build, and this is how you're going to learn. So all right, so if you're interested, but and if you're not sure, but go make sure you check that. And in terms of if you want to get that, make sure you use this coupon code so that you can save money, and you can get a discount. And if you need any kind of a help, you can reach out to this call, dial this number. You can just reach out to there, and our mentors are there to help you in all kind of information that you need, or any help that you need in terms of getting like placements and all the assistance that we have. All right. So coming up to this part, let's what question that we have. Like going back to the question, let's start with that as well. So here, let's fetch to. All right. So this is what we have for the question that we have. So let's just to give you an idea that what we were looking for is like basically we have to calculate a distance between. We have to calculate a fare. All right, so I think there is some glitch in terms of. All right, just give me a moment. All right. All right, so I think you're visible, the screen code is, and just to make it readable, I will zoom a little bit. So I hope now the screen is visible, and like you can see the code. All right, so basically we are going to write the code. So first I'll explain this in terms of the C++. Like I said, people are coming from the different background, and they might have like different coding perspective. So based on that, first let's understand how we are going to solve that in terms of a C++. So this is how basically we need to calculate the seal, so that seal value. So that that's why we might need some of the libraries. So these are how we can import. And all right, just give me a moment. So there are some. All right, so we are good. Okay, so this is how we are going to start a function, and there we have to define. So basically, in this line, we are going to define some of the sources, all the stations and the distances. For that, we have defined these values. And since this is in terms of that, let's say if you want, if the user has given the input in terms of small cases or capital cases, we have to convert that into uppercase, since the values that we have in the array are in terms of the capital letters, right? So to do that, we are going to take that, we are going to read the value, and we are going to use the top upper method to convert that to upper, and that will automatically convert all the values into that. And later on, this is the array that we have in terms of like all the distances. So once you have, initially the fare price that we have is 0, and based on that, how much distance has been traveled by the student, then we are going to calculate that. And this is like we have the for loop here in terms of to check if, all right, so here we have the for loop in terms of to check if the source destination, so how many number of times that is going to be travel. Since we have 8 sources, so we are going to make sure that initially it will start from 0, and it will once the value reaches to that circle that we have, it's a circular, right? So that's why the condition that we have provided here, and it will increment as we visit each stop, and based on that we will pick up the values from this array that we have mentioned, and based on that we will calculate that. So now one condition that we had is that this for loop help us to visit each station. One condition that we had that we have to look upon is that if the source and the destination is going to be same. So basically here we are going to write here that if the source station and the destination is same, then it should return invalid input and it will return a 0. Otherwise, in a case whenever the source, so whenever the source and destination is not, all right, so let make it a little bit clear as well. So this is how we can see. So now whenever the source and destination is not same, and if the source and destination is same, we are going to see it give a output as invalid. If the source and destination is not same, then we have to compute and we have to multiply that with respect to the for per 1,000 meters that we have seen is going to be 5 rupees, right? So in terms of that, we have to multiply that with respect to the total distance that has covered by that bus. So this is how you can do that. So now if you can check the same solution for Python as well. So while if you're going to work on Python, you have to import this math, and here we are going to import this math. And say people who are coming from the different programming languages, Python, as you know, is a dynamical typecasting. So we do not have to mention the specific like the value of that. So first we are going to write a function here, and this function gets a value as we have said the source and the destination. Here we have the route in a 2D array format. So for the first array, we have all the sources value. These are the 8 values. For each source value, we have the distances as well. So this is how, let's say by writing this route of 0, you can access this entire stations. And by writing route of 0 and 0, so this is the index for everything. We have indexed this 0, and the second value that we have, second list that is going to be the index 1, because it's a 2-dimensional array that we have. And once we do that, so we have to set up an initial fare. So here we are going to write this initial fare as 0, 0. And like I said, Python is dynamically typecasted, so we do not have to worry about what kind of a data type that we have to assign. Then one more condition that we had is that, so given a source and destination, if the value of the source and destination is same, then so since we have here, so let's check this condition. If the source in route 0, so route 0, nothing but of all our stations, or and the destination in route 0. So this is again is going to be the station. All right. So whenever any string that has given by the user, and if it is not part of the stations that we have, then it will directly say that invalid input, because if that station is not included in that route, that bus is not going to travel. So that's why we are first writing the condition for checking if that is present in a given list. Then if it is not, then we have added a not operator. So in that scenario, we will say invalid input, and this exit function will directly exit out of that loop that we have given. All right. So now next step, what if the source and destination that we have provided is already in the terms of like the list that we have given? It's a part of the stations that we have where the bus is going to travel. So in that scenario, we have to calculate if the source index of the source is less than the index of the destination. So because let's say this route 0 of index of source will give us the index value of that source or the string that we have given. If this is less, than the index of the destination, then we are going to run a loop in terms of the range function. So where range function takes two parameters. So one is that we are going to give the value by getting that index, and then another parameter that we are going to pass here is basically this destination also. So we are going to pass the destination here. So for this range function, we are going to pass a source and the destination. Then we are going to +1, because what happens whenever we add in a let's say range function, it takes the second parameter as -1. So to explain you in that sense, let's say this is our list, and these are some random elements that I'm just writing. So 8, 10, or 12. So these are just, for example, just let's look at this. So instead of these numbers, we have the source station's code, right? So now let's say if you want to take, this is our source, all right, and this is our source, and let's say this is our destination. So if I write the indexing of this list, so it's going to be start from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So whenever we write a range function, and in that a range function, if we write the source from 0, so this will take the source as it is. But in order to consider this 8 as a destination, we have to pass the value, the index of 4, because the second parameter is always going to be the -1. So that's how it works in the range function. So that way it will read only these values. But while doing that, if you add 3 as an index, as an index instead of 4, it will just read the value 246. So that's why, to consider the destination correctly, we are just adding +1 here. It's up to you whether you can add a +1 there, or you can just take a next value out of that. So this will add to the basically whatever the current index is this. So it will take this in the range function and it will add that. All right. So once this done, we have to calculate the fare. So how we are going to calculate the fare is like basically we are going to update the fare basically on the route of 1 of I. So for I value that we are going to iterate on. So since how many times it has been, like we are going to calculate how many stations it has visited, and depends on the stations and it depends on the distance that we have, then we will multiply that. But this is the condition only in order to understand how many stations is visited, like how many how much distance it has covered. So now there might be another condition that where we want to know whenever this route of index of this destination is less than the source. So basically we have this list, and if the index of the destination is less than the index of the route, since it is circular, so it has to go around that, right? So let me just open here this. Let's go back to that screen we have on this. All right, so I hope this is visible now. And all right, so basically all right, so let's go back to the condition where we have this values. Okay, this is the value that we have, and I'll zoom a little bit. So we have seen the condition for whenever the source is less than the destination. So in that scenario, right, so I hope you are seeing the same screen as. All right, so let's say the second condition that we have, let's say this is our source. Let's say this is our source value that we have here. And if your destination is this, so in terms of the index, if we speak, the index value of this destination is less than the index value of the source. So that's why initially it will go around like this, and since it is in a circular format, so it will cover these values and it will reach out to this, right? So this is what I trying to explain you. And once you do that, so we have to calculate a different fare in this kind of a scenario. So for that, we are going to write. All right, so let's switch back to the VS Code. All right, so in that scenario, we are going to calculate the source using this for loop. So here we have, and so we have written this loop in terms of that we will get the source index, and based on that we will take the length of that root, and we will calculate what is the fare that we have here. All right, so here we will have the fare, and once it is done, so what we are going to do is we are going to pass all the values of source and the destination, and we will calculate, and eventually we have to return the ceiling value. And whenever we have, either it's going to pick a fare from this condition, or from here, and once we pick that, then we are going to multiply that with 0.005, and whatever the value that is going to come, so we are going to give that in terms of the floating point number it will return, right? So now once we get, we have to take the input from the user, so we will take the input from the user as the source station, then the destination, then we will call the function, and based on calling out the function we will get these values. All right, so let's quickly run this code and let's see if we can get the answer that is expected. So here we can execute that. All right, so let's run. And all right, so basically here we have, and it is, I hope the screen is visible now. All right, so basically here it is asking for the source value, and let's pick the source value as th, and we need to give the destination as well. So let's give the destination as ch, and let's enter and let's see. So we have the base value as like the fare for this as a 11. So now what happens if I put the source and the destination as the same? So let's try to do that as well. So again, we have to run this code, and as expected in the question, whenever we put the source and the destination as the same, it is supposed to give us invalid. And let's put the source as GA, and the destination it's same. So in that scenario, we have invalid input, because in order to calculate the fare, we need to give the input where the bus is traveling and this distance is involved, and then only we can calculate the fare. So this is how basically you can go and solve this question. And basically, so all right, so say similarly, like all the logic that we have talked about in terms of the solution of Python is same applied in the C++ as well. So it's up to you, like depends on which programming language that you are comfortable with, you can pick that. And if you have, all right, so you can solve this and you can submit this code there. And otherwise, let's say we have one more condition, whenever the fare is 0, then we are going to print it as invalid after going through all the conditions that we have given there, and otherwise it will give the calculated fare itself. So now in the Python code, what happens if I put the values which are like case sensitive, since as you know, so Python is a case sensitive. So whenever you put the values which are not in terms of like, let's say, let's put a value which is not present in our list. So this is, I have to execute this. Let's run this, and here we have to enter the source station. Let's put some value in the small letters, and this is supposed to throw an error because this session is not involved in that. So let's put the destination as well, something else which is not in our list. Now we have the invalid input. So in that scenario, you have to get the user to input, give you the correct input for the source and destination that is also fulfilled. So initially we had 3 or 4 conditions that is successfully running this code. So in case if you want to just check, So you can just look at the code. It is pretty simple, but the question, as if you read, it is lengthy, but once you break it down into a smaller part, then it helps you solving the question, right? So now coming back to that. So the people who have missed in terms of what I was explaining previously about, let's say, all right, so I hope the screen is visible now. And all right, so basically, all right, so in case if you want to follow for, or if you need all the updates in terms of what are the hirings that are going on, so you can check out these channels that I've said, I've told you to just go and make sure that you follow all these things, and that you can get on prepinsta.com as well. All you have to do is just visit the website, and in that you will get all the details. All right. So I think there's a glitch, so that's why I was not okay. So we are back now. All right. So in case if you want to get updates all regarding all the placement season, so this is we are doing the session for the TCS. But apart from TCS, there are a lot of companies that are currently hiring. So there will be hiring soon. So for that, we are going to share all the updates on these channels. So make sure you subscribe here on the YouTube so that you will be able to attend all kind of a sessions that we are going to conduct here on live, as well as make sure you follow on these platforms that we have. And just a last reminder, in case anyone is looking for in terms of purchasing the Prime subscription, so make sure you use the coupon code TCS, so that will give you extra benefits as well. So in terms of the discounts, and as well as you will get a mentor support by calling on this number that I've shown on the screen. I hope that's it, and we can wrap up this session. It was great, and let's see you. We are going to conduct this kind of a series more often. So as this throughout this placement season, so make sure you leave a subscribe, and all the information that you need, everything that you need in terms of the placement preparation and everything, all the details are also provided in the description as well. So go and visit that. So I'll see you next.